Will a man with a shield be able to tank the hits? We'll have to see. Delta used to have a really bad wolf problem for the longest time. Like, he would struggle with this character regardless of who was playing wolf. He couldn't find appropriate ways to counterplay. Now it's been a long time since that point, but it's the original character that made Delta want to start picking up secondaries. Will we see any of those, the Sheik or maybe even the Sephiroth, come out a little bit later in this best of 5, depending on how much of a role Jakal is on? We will see, but as we mentioned prior, he's much more willing to stick out bad matchups with Link, and this game evens up just because of it.
I mean, let's see if he holds true to that this time around, though. We're just going to have to cross that bridge going. I mean, Delta doesn't tweet too often, so if you see him tweet something, he probably means it. So I'm just going to go out on a limb here and think that he probably has a little more practice, not only in this matchup, but probably in a couple of other ones with Link. And as we can see, it's looking like that's paying dividends for him right here, as that forward is going to take the stock, but immediately answering back is Jakal with that back air going forward in the first game of the set. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a slobber knocker, Rubel.
Yeah, both of these players just acknowledging the fact that, hey, their out-of-shield games are both very good, and Jakal waiting on not one, but 2 spot dodges back-to-back. He's understanding the defensive counterplay for this game, but Delta is able to put on much more damage and keep it climbing, going from a full cross-stage combo into a ledge trap, and by ledge trap, I do mean nair.
Yeah. Ledge trap came out a little bit further, though, and that's going to do it right there. Jakal actually side being in the other direction, knowing that he was already dead. Wasn't even just neutral air, my friend. He placed that bomb bouncing down by the ledge right where he needed it. That's actually how he continued that edge guard there. Forced Jakal into the situation that he did. Ooh, with the double neutral air, though, catching Jakal out of disadvantage. What a very interesting one, getting that weak hit first before the strong one. Able to continue that edge guard going, getting way more insurance on Jakal's final stock than he was able to get on this second one on the part of Delta. There you go, forward tilt gonna do it though, good reach.
Yeah, just positioning himself perfectly for that forward tilt was Jakal, and this, I feel like this set is gonna be won or lost on the ledge. Because both characters and both players have shown off immaculate ledge game and a phenomenal depth of trapping from both sides. While Wolf is able to reach a little bit further below ledge, Delta is able to cover so much space and so many options with this bomb, and we're seeing the fruits of that labor. 112 to 11 at this point. Oh, that's an unfortunate way to drop that game, but it's a game you will take nonetheless. Delta up 1-0.
That was honestly a crazy way to do that, honestly. The way that he was utilizing all those projectiles right there. He kind of like threw that bomb to the side, which forced Jakal to not be able to play the long game a little bit more, and forced him to not only fight in sort of the beef with a character like Link, but he also threw that boomerang upwards and created a no-fly zone for him at the same time. And Wolf is the kind of character that loves to utilize his air drift and loves to utilize his speed in the air on top of his crazy priority on his moves. But one of those things Link beats him in terms of the priority with that nair. And now Link can also create sort of no-fly zones with these boomerangs. So it's almost like Delta was onto something when it came to talking about Link's bad matchups here. Maybe there is some stuff that he could do. It's all going to depend on how Jakal is going to adapt going forward.
And he's got plenty of time to do so. A whole 5 games potentially, at the very least 2 more. And Jakal has been known not to need too much, but this is a hell of a start from Delta. You love the wait. You're just waiting to see what Delta's gonna do, and you forget about the bomb. Not only is it a lingering hitbox, but it also can't explode. Funny that.
That again, as a bomb is one to do, my friend. Ooh, good rising forward air, keeping that going. And getting the frame trap out of that back air, forcing the air dodge into the neutral air is Jakal. Beautiful stuff, keeping that onslaught going. This is what I'm talking about, my friend. You know, we already saw it in his set against Chaos, right? But when Jakal gets going, he knows how to keep the offensive pressure rising, my friends. He knows it was like so many situations that create 50-50s. He knows what setups that he has that sort of condition his opponents into doing what he wants. And above all else, he just knows how to keep an opponent in disadvantage with this and many other characters. On top of knowing like when to save his jump off the level to survive Link projectiles right there in the arrow. But gonna die right there regardless, but doesn't mean what I said isn't true.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Like this is like Jakal really does have a good sense of advantage and a good sense of burst range. You'll see him walking around waiting to react to options because he very much understands how far Wolf's air drift goes with Nair, how potent instant dash attack is with many characters, Wolf included. So it's on Delta to keep to almost play as little neutral as possible. Keep the game plan on this left ledge because he's gotten a lot of reward on that left ledge. Not letting Jakal get back to center is gotta be your #1 game plan. Because if you're playing more and more neutral and more disadvantage with Jakal, the more he starts to poke holes in those landing options, in those defensive habits. As we see the landing downer get stuffed out with back air, and Jakal retake his first lead of this game.
Okay, getting that little arrow right there, rising with the neutral air, keeping it going. Not exactly the time to try to be forced into disadvantage is on the part of Delta right here. He's the one who's got to try to find a way to secure this kill, and just catching Jakal getting a little bit antsy. Not enough to kill, though. Maybe he recognized he could have DI'd. And I do like what Jakal was trying to do right there. Trying to go a little bit lower, see if he could like find his way up from around instead. Gotta respect it a little bit, but unfortunately he just wasn't able to get out of that lag in time.
3, almost 4. Looking like Unknown Sheik, but this is Wolf with a lot more damage on each one of those forward airs, taking him from 50 to 90, and is still throwing out forward airs. A phenomenal move out of shield if it hits, and Link is tall enough for it too. Love the idea. The pivot on the down smash, super clean, and it would have been a proper call out if you just spaced it right. Uh-oh.
Oh no. Okay. Narrowly getting up to avoid the forward tilt. Tipper back air though, that's gonna do it against a Link. Doesn't matter how heavy you are. That one's absolutely gonna kill.
Yeah, that is for sure gonna close out that game. And it was looking a little precarious, and it always seems to get that much closer at the end of Game 3, but the player with the lead does manage to hold it out. As we go to Town and City, Link's best stage, according to Delta. This is where he loves to counterpick players if he is allowed to, because the stretcher, the moving platforms often allow Link to have really potent recovery mix-ups and ways to safer ways to pull bomb, as if he needed more safer ways to pull bomb. And the side blast zones attribute to Link's most prominent way of killing, which is with things like F-tilt and killing you off the side through his ledge trap.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Plus, you know, it doesn't really matter how like high those vertical blast zones are. Link can definitely kill you off the top with that up smash regardless. It's a very, very powerful move. And your DI better be pretty good if you're going to live that, even on a stage like this. Oh, but does the combo continue? Oh, I was about to say, like, we're about to eat every single one of those words, and both players are going to trade stocks right here, actually. Not too much that could have been done about that. I mean, even if Jakal decided to Wolf Flash a little bit higher on, he could have caught Link with a weak hitbox of that, and then he would have been able to survive. Instead, he's just going to decide to try to uppy his way back to the stage and ensure he reverses that uppy the other way, solely to make sure that Delta doesn't live, since he had no choice but to hit him with it.
It's an unfortunate stock trade, but at the very least, it is a stock trade. So you're not throwing everything away right off the bat, as Delta is holding on to this slight lead here, trying to make the most out of this counter pick in a 1-1 game set state, where counter pick will start to matter later on, ever so slightly. While Town and City may be the only counter pick in this stage rule set, it makes a difference when you have a character like Link and Wolf on your screen, because you don't want to let Wolf go to battlefield, and you don't want to let Delta Force get comfortable on Town and City.
Oh, wow. Miscalculation right there. Just not drifting a little too close to the ledge that time around. I mean, I guess that might be the cost of up being in the wrong direction that way. I mean, or the right direction, as, you know, Lynx would call it. But, yeah, just unfortunate. There's not really much else to say about that. Unfortunate misspacing. Maybe he got a little scared or just messed up his input or something. But either way, he's going to fall down a whole stock lead because of it. And now we got Jakal looking poised to potentially take this game. He's got a lot of distance on this stage to force Link to really make up, despite, you know, these projectiles putting in work for him on here. Wolf's got that mobility in spades, so he's going to utilize this counter pick properly like you were talking about, now might be a good time.
Yeah, it'll have to be somewhat soon because things are starting to snowball real quick. That dash grab super clean, catching Delta before the F tilt came out. Always picking his spot so well, but the up tilt comes through for Delta. 98 at this point and 113 now. It's a precarious spot to be in for sure, but one that you can manage. Wolf is certainly one of the more exploitable characters, being a spacey and all. They're always going to be their downfall. It's their potency to get cheesed. And Link's got a little bit of it, and a weight to keep himself alive to boot.
Beautiful time laser as well, just to sort of like ensure that what am I trying to say? That Delta is forced to the ledge right there, so that Jakal could regain stage control. The situation does reset though, and resets once again. Now we have neutral completely reset. Players both very scared to commit right now. Jakal utilizing a lot of these double jump falling neutral layers, utilizing the priority on that as best as he can, and he's unfortunately, oh my goodness!
That was
gonna reverse that up B to make sure that he's the one who gets the stock right there. That was crazy. That whole sequence completely jumbled up my words, and I am a commentator, so it is my job to make sure that does not happen. But that last play was absolutely insane. Jakal was utilizing so many so many full hop double jump falling neutral layers right there to try to utilize the priority on that as best as he can. And even though Delta Force caught onto that, he was unprepared for that one situation in the one moment when it mattered, which is ironic as hell, considering that that's how he lost his first stock.
Yeah, cursed windscreen aside, we're gonna right back to game 2. We're going right back to Town and City for game 4. Oh man, we'd be traveling a little bit back in time if we're headed to game 2.
You're dead!
Oh, he's gone.
You want to talk about counter picks working bad against him, my friend? Those are the lowest horizontal blast zones in our stage list. Tipper, Wolf, back air? Yeah, that'll kill you at 80 here.
I was killing you 20% earlier.
Yeah, man. I don't know about this counter pick from Delta. You're talking about it working out for him, but so far, he's been getting killed by some pretty crazy stuff, man. Reverse up Bs by the ledge. That's what Link is supposed to do. You know, like Tipper and back airs. He's getting hit by he's getting hit by his own medicine right here, and I'm not sure if he likes the taste.
Yeah, I mean, you love your counter pick for a lot of reasons, and I know for certain that Delta really does love this stage, but you're playing against a character that doesn't have a bad stage, so counterpicking, it doesn't have as much impact if you're just willing to play the matchup and willing to play it to the fullest extent as another S2. Rip.
That was the worst thing that could have happened to Jakal. Or getting caught in the reverse up B. That probably would have been worse for him. But you know what I mean. He got the weak hitbox of the forward tilt and he survived. But now he's got the bomb in hand. Oh! Didn't even need to go for the bomb left trap right there. Instead, just going to elect to hold it, make sure he can't utilize the bomb to get back. Pretty smart on Jakal decide to go for that instead, because then Link could have potentially used it to ensure his way back to the level. And I gotta be honest, Delta, it's looking like we're getting game 4 Jakal right here, because these combos are absolutely insane. This is where every and all download is complete, and the man just feels himself. I called it. I knew he was going for it.
I respect it.
I knew he was going for that, man.
Yeah, he was banking on taking Delta's jump with that second nair, but Delta being safe and conserving that precious resource. He'll need it if he wants to make any sort of comeback here, but this is Jakal starting to find his groove yet again. Double gentleman. It's going to take a lot more than that, and it's going to take no more from Jakal just falling down with that backer right to Link's dome. The loser's run continues, as it is Jakal going to be getting his run back with Shinji after a rough 2-0 instead of Delta, who falls at 3rd place.
Wow. Honestly, it was a noble fight. You know, the counter pick was respectable, but at the end of the day, I feel like Jakal just knew how to use it better than him, at the very least in the spots that it mattered.